This time we are using up any colors of scrap yarn, even small pieces, to make an easy shawl. It's very easy stitches because colors are the main thing. I'm showing a useful way to join yarns so you won't have any yarn ends to weave in. I have changed colors in the middle of a row so you get a rag style feel to it, but you could of course make it just stripes if you prefer. The yarns I'm using are a mix of sport and worsted weights, and I have a hook size 3.5 millimeter. So let's see how it goes. We are starting here in the middle and then starting to go back and forth. You can also use this same idea for a rectangular scarf or blanket. See this video in the description. So first make a slip knot and then chain 5. Chain 5. And we close that into a ring using a slip stitch. There. And then again chain 5. And now we'll make 7 trebles into that there ring. I'm using American crochet terms, so the treble in British terms is double treble. 2 yarn overs and into the ring. Get your yarn and each time through 2 loops. Yarn over and through 2 and through 2. There. And then chain 1 and another treble into the same ring. And we continue like this until we have 7 trebles in that ring and always chain 1 in between. So here I have that. It forms a half circle and we have the chain plus 7 trebles. Then chain 5 and turn, and now we'll have 2 trebles in that first space. So 2 trebles into that and chain 1 in between. There, and then the next 2 will have 1 treble in each and always chain 1 again in between. So a treble here, chain 1 and a treble in the next one. And now we're coming to the middle space, and we always need to have 4 trebles in that and again 1 chain in between. So into that next one, chain 1 and 3 more in the same space. Like that. Again, we'll have 1 each in the next 2. Chain 1, treble, chain 1, treble in the next one. And to finish, we'll have 3 trebles with a chain in between in the last space. and a third one. There, that's the second row finished, and on the next row now I'm going to change the yarn color and we continue to increase stitches. Again, chain 5 and turn. Now actually this scrap yarn is coming to an end, so I need to take another color, and here I'm using the easy way to join yarn that I like to use any time the yarn is fairly fine or medium size. And I have a full video about that too. See the video description for the link. But I'm doing it here now. So take hold of the yarn so that it doubles, and it needs to be at least about 15 centimeters. That would be about 6 inches. And then take the other one and put that into the loop, and also double that, but for now it can just hang there. So holding on to this here one, I'm continuing to work on this. You need to leave a little bit so that it doesn't escape. Chain 1. So as we see, I'm now working the yarn double, which is why this doesn't work if your yarn is very thick. So just an ordinary treble there. And now we see that we are getting to the spot where the other yarn comes in. So you just continue wherever that goes. And then chain 1 and the next one, treble into the next space, and just keep going. And now I no longer have the yarn double, it finished in there. And now because they have been doubled like that, you can then later just cut these off close to there, and they stay there. Of course, the longer you double them, the more certain they are that they don't come off. But if you have very heavy yarn, then just take the next yarn and continue using that, and weave them in later. And now continue chaining 1 and a treble until you come to the top bit where we had these 4 trebles in the same space, and we need 4 again in the middle of these here 4. And I'm there now. This here space is the middle one at the top. So I chain 1, and again I'll make 4 trebles with a chain in between on top there. There, 4 in the middle one, and then continue chain 1 and a treble until the end here, and the last one we chain 1 and have another treble in that same space. And now we're beginning to see how this works. So we basically continue the same way. Every time when you turn, you chain 5 and have a treble in the first space, and then 1 in each one. And when you get to the top, in between, in the middle of these where you have 4, you again have 4, and then continue to the other side. And now you can change the yarn anywhere here, just the same way as we looked at there. On every 5th row we need to increase here, but this was only the first one. So I'll do 3 more rows and then we look at that. 3 more rows going back and forth. Here now I have 4 rows, since this here row where we had 3 trebles in the beginning in the first space. So on the next row I again need to have 3. And otherwise I have continued the same, always having 4 trebles in the middle. So that creates the point. And now, because if we always just have 2 in the space when we start, it would start going sort of upwards instead of being straight here. We now need 3 trebles in the same space, both in the beginning and end of this here row. So I'm chaining 5, and that counts as the first treble for having 3, and then treble, chain 1 and another treble in that same space. And then you continue just as normal. And when you come to the end of the row, you will have 3 trebles in this here last space. I continue to change color wherever it happens to end, and try to always have it in the middle of the rows to get that rag feeling. Here I am at the end of this row, and I have 3 trebles in here. And then it just continues, the entire shawl continues the same way, always 4 trebles at the top, and most of the time 2 at the end, but every 5th row you have 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one has 3 there to keep this here line straight. And now you continue the same way until your shawl is as big as you want it to be. Thank you for watching. Until next time.